Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. Well, according to Travel Agent Central, 44% of us are more likely to use a travel agent after the pandemic. This morning, to talk about travel, using a travel agent, and why there are some benefits to it, we have from Queens of Fun Travel, which is a premier luxury travel planning agency. We have agent Morgan James with us. Morgan, great to see you this morning.
Great to see you too, Stephanie. Thanks for having me on the show.
You're welcome. So Morgan here is what you would say a world traveler would be. She's been to 24 countries. So I'm sure in your time of traveling all over the world, you've come up against probably many of the obstacles that someone might come up against during your travels.
Yes, absolutely. A great example of that is I just returned from 2 weeks in Spain, and I rented a car to travel throughout all these small cities and towns in the south of Spain, and had no idea the small amount of parking spaces that they have in Spain. So one thing I learned there is probably utilize taxis and trains over renting your own car.
No kidding. So now is that a piece of information that you would maybe solely get from a travel agent?
Yeah, absolutely. Travel agents are experts in their field. Like you said, I've been to 24 different countries, a lot of them in Europe. And I know the ins and outs of these countries, the requirements pre and post pandemic, because there are some different ones now, and just tips and tricks on how to utilize your time and get the most out of your trip, because time is very valuable, especially when you're traveling. And when you go through a travel agent, they can really help you through those.
Well, I was going to also say time is money. So it's one of those, as we're planning our trip, we don't know. I just going from my personal experience, don't know where we can save and where we can maybe spend a little bit more. And is that something, because I know used to people would be like, oh, it's so expensive to use a travel agent, but is it maybe likely that we could save a little bit of money by using a travel agent?
Absolutely. I mean, the stereotype has been that using a travel agent is expensive, and that is not the case at all. In fact, a lot of travel agents do the research and the booking for free or for
Oh,
a very minimal cost on your behalf. And additional financial benefits that you get from working with a travel agent is they have um, pre-negotiated rates and relationships with travel vendors, whether it's a cruise line or a sandals resort. And so they're able to provide you with added perks, whether it's a bottle of champagne upon arrival or maybe a personal driver pick you up from the airport. Those are added perks that aren't open to the public, but you can access through a travel agent.
no kidding. That is great to know. That is not something I would have thought of. That's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as we're trying to maybe pick our travel agent, because there are different agencies out there, do you have maybe a set of questions that we can maybe ask them to make sure that we're getting the best travel agent for our needs, or someone who's knowledgeable enough to do the work that we need them to do?
Yeah, absolutely. I would start with thinking about, okay, where do I want to travel to? And
Okay.
look for an expert in that location. For example, I specialize in Europe. Um, I love it. I know so much about it. And if you're wanting to travel to Europe, highly recommend looking at a European travel expert. The same goes for Disney. Those families out there that want to travel to Disney probably know that it is very overwhelming to navigate all the different parks and the hotels and transportation and food. And it gets very overwhelming. And there
Mhm.
are a lot of agents out there that specialize in Disney. So I would definitely do your research on the web, search travel agents that specialize in Europe, travel agents that specialize in Disney, or wherever your travel bug is taking you. And that's definitely the best starting point.
I absolutely love that you call it travel experts. That is so exactly what you guys are. That is amazing. Amazing. Is there anything that I haven't asked you that you feel like would be beneficial for those watching this to hear?
I would like to touch a little bit more on my agency, the Queen
Please.
of Fun Travel. Since today is International Women's Day,
Mhm.
we are a woman owned and operated luxury travel agency. We have agents all over the United States. I specialize in Europe. My counterparts specialize in Hawaii, the Caribbean, and we even have a Disney expert as well. And so, if you're interested in traveling to any of those places, definitely recommend reaching out to the Queen of Fun Travel Agency.
Queen of Fun Travel, and I have to say, one of my favorite websites that I've seen in a while. Very bright and vibrant, sort of. It just engages you right away.
It is so fun, isn't it, Stephanie?
It is. It is. I know. If I have a question, I'm definitely going to turn to you, Morgan. I appreciate your time. Thank you for the few tips that you were able to give us. And again, a great way for people maybe to save a little bit, get everything that they need by using a travel agent. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep on traveling, everybody. Have a nice day.
Will do. Bye, Morgan. All right. Stick with us here on Mornings on Main Street. We have a lot more coming up after this.